99.99% people will use print stack trace only. I hope you will not confuse now. It will display complete exception information. Sometimes in the project, I don't want complete exception information. I want only exception class name and reason for the exception. Exception, class name, and reason for the exception only I want. I don't want extra. Then in that case, I have to call what? E.toString. Tell me, toString method, do I need to call or not required? Not required. Println method implicitly call toString method, and toString method is overridden in exception class. Exception class or throwable class? Throwable class common to all exceptions, and it will display first line of the exception, exception class name and reason for the exception. Place of the exception will not be displayed. I don't want exception class name. I want only the message of the exception, error message of the exception. Then I have to call get message. Is it clear? Yes. Okay. Now the question: when you create a connection-based object, after this object usage, you must close that exception. I have to handle throws, catch clause surrounding by. IO exception E.instructrace. Tell me. Now, when I call read method, after read method completed, I completed my data reading. I don't want anything else. Just I wanted to close this connection. Further, I have to call FIS.close. If I call FIS.close here, then what is the problem? May not be executed. Further, what are you doing? You are writing in catch block. If you write in catch block, it become code redundancy. Further, what is the idea? You must write finally block. If you write in finally block, what should we do? FIS.close. Then there are three things you have to take care. Number one, the variable you have to declare outside of the try to access from there. Okay, na? Second, you must handle IO exception for the close method that are surrounded with the try catch. FIS is a local variable and not initialized. So we must initialize. Next, because you are initializing with a null, there is a chance you will get what? Null pointer exception. So you have to write FIS not equal to null. Am I right? Yes. These are all the things you have to. These are all the things you have to take care. Tell me, this finally logic code is specific to one person or common to all projects? You should write, I should write, everyone should write, right? When everybody writing, who should write? Sun Microsystem realized at this point in Java 7 version. After Java 6 release, Java 7 enhancement they are doing. Then they are searching. Okay, what are the more benefits I can give to the developer? They realize, people are writing finally block with the cleanup code. That is nothing but simply calling close method. Then why I have to force the developer to write this code? Let me write common to all developers. Who will write? This is a API or language? Language related code who will write? Sun Microsystem has two people, compiler or developer. Logic related developer should write. Developer and API developer. Syntax related who has to write? Compiler. Every class must be extending from object. Compiler writing. Every class should contain constructor. Compiler writing. In every class constructor should call superclass constructor. Compiler writing supercall. Every non-static method and constructor should have this keyword. Compiler writing. Whenever you access non-static variable or non-static method inside non-static method or constructor, you have to add this dot. Compiler writing. Right? So lot of syntax related part compiler writing. Then Sun Microsystem realized why this finally block should force developer to write. Let me write. This is which version code this is? Java 6 version code. Up to Java 6 version, you have to write like this. From Java 7 version onwards, Java 7 version onwards, We no need to finally block. For what? Always for calling closeness. Compiler will add. This feature is named as try with resource. Okay? Yes. How to write now? If I write finally catch like this, then it's a old syntax now. Yes. The new syntax is try parenthesis. Okay, na? Now the try also coming with what? Parenthesis. In this parenthesis, now I have to create object. Hey, which connection object you want? File, reader, fr equal to new file. Any connection based object you can take. File reader fr equal to new file reader of double quotes abc dot txt. Okay. Tell me. Now this object is what object? Connection based object. Hello, semicolon not required. Samajh mein aaya? Now tell me. This object is called resource. Okay. Try with the resource. Can I call any object as a resource? No. If you want to call an object as a resource, it must be connection based object. A connection based object is only considered as resource. This object is called resource, a connection based object. Then now tell, here I should write fr dot read. That means in the try parenthesis, create object. In the try body, you use that object. Now the question, whenever you create try with resource, catch block is optional. For the point? Catch block is not required. Tell me, can I write only try? No. What is the purpose of only try? We are writing try to catch the exceptions rising in the try, or I want to execute some statements compulsory. That means either try catch combination or try finally or try catch finally or combination only you should use. You cannot write only try. You cannot write only catch. You cannot write only finally. Between the three statements, you cannot write any other statement. If you write, compiler throw error. Now my question is, if you write only try, if you write try with resource, no need to write catch, no need to write finally. But really, finally, there are not there. We are not writing finally, but implicitly compiler writing finally. Na? Now tell me. A try with resource is nothing but try with a finally. So we can write only try. But I am getting compile time errors. Okay, but I am getting compile time errors. Why? If the try resource constructor throwing any checked exception, I must handle na. Yeah. Control 1, add throws declaration. Okay, this constructor throwing exception. So you should handle. Read method also throwing exception. You should handle. Understand? Yeah. Next very important question. What is this code converted by compiler software? Converted code of compiler software. Compiler software changes this code as like this. Okay, how, tell me? Try this file reader will take outside. Okay, equal to null. Then this is gone. This made as what? Dabba. Then fr equal to now this is try. This is the code you have written. This code is now converting like this. Okay, following by catch of sorry, no catch. Finally, open bracket, closed bracket. It will add if fr not equals to null, fr dot close. Understood? This is the code will write. Hey, close method will throw IO exception. Yes. Checked exception, right? Yes. In our finally block we handle. But now I am not handling. Is it a compile time error? No. Yes, compile time error. Yes. But you have written throws IO exception. Now I am removing this IO exception. Okay. Also I am removing this read method. Also I am removing read method. Observe. Still I'll get error. Unhandled exception type. Observe. Unhandled exception type, IO exception thrown by automatic close invocation on fr. When implicitly, whenever write this object in the try block, implicitly compiler will write finally block. Inside finally block, it is writing fr dot close. Because of fr dot close method implicitly throwing IO exception. You must handle that IO exception, checked exception. How many ways we can have? 2 ways. Number 1, add throws declaration, add catch clause to surround the try. Automatically catch is added to surround the try. This catch to surround, what added? Catch. Understood? So tell me, what is the rule while working with try with resource? If you want close an object, automatically by compiler, create that object inside try parenthesis. Point number 1. Point number 2. If that resource object constructor throwing any checked exception, you must handle catch of file not found exception. This is for whom now? For okay, I'm not worrying about logic take like. Okay, let's say simple system.out.println FNFE is raised. This is for whom? For constructor. Okay, now for constructor we have written catch block. Which constructor? FR constructor. Tell me, still I am getting error. Why? FR variable IO exception is throwing. Then what I should write? One more catch block I should write with what? IO exception and E dot print stack trace. This is for whom now? FR dot for implicit call of FR dot close. Everyone understand? Let me write a statement. I am writing try open bracket closed bracket. There is a class called print stream. Malum? Print stream PS equal to new print stream of I'm writing system.out. Okay, system.out. That means I am asking print stream to connect to a file or console. Keyboard, right? File may or may not be available, but keyboard is definitely available. Na? I'll catch my point. Then print stream will throw any exception? No. Okay, now I'm writing here PS dot write of, okay, not write, print of PS dot print of double quotes hi. PS dot print of hi. Tell me. Did I write any catch-or finally? Try with resource. Can exist without catch and finally association. Means we can write try with resource without. Okay, let me write like this. We can write try with resource without catch and finally association. Only try is allowed to place. All people understand? Paka, got clarity? Is it really try with resource or try with finally? Because it is implicitly try with finally. Okay, now got clarity? Now I have a question. System dot outer print double quotes hello. What is the output? Tell me. If I run this program, what is the output? Previous statements only just connecting to the file. Na? We are not reading and writing anything. Just okay. Tell me. This FIS.read don't consider. Okay, let me comment this entire code. Okay. I'm just placing this much. I commented everything. This much is there. Now tell me what is the output. High and high and high and high and high and high and hello. Only high. Everyone, hi and hello, only hi or only hello. Output is only hi. Hey, why exception will come? Only hi will come. Why? End of the try we have ps.close. ps.close means closing only print stream or it's connected system.out. Connected system.out also, right? Then system.out, connecting object, connection already closed. Yesterday shown you diagram. Last class you are crying on diagram. That connection file place reverse to the keyboard. Okay. So print stream is internally holding connection to the console. Because the PS is closed, internal connection is also closed. Everyone understood? Shall I proceed next point? Yes. If you want to display some message on the console, should I write this statement or should not write? Should not write. Okay? No problem. Currently, I am not displaying anything on the console. Okay? Now, up to now, all the people come with a try with resource? Yes. If Indra asks a question, can you tell something about try with resource? What are the points you will take? Try with finally. Hey, what is a try with resource? And if you say try with resource is a try with finally, enter you are confused about. What is try with resource? What you'll say? Can you tell something about try with resource means what? What, why, how, example, and then when. What, why, how, when, example. 5 points you have to tell. Come on. What is try with resource? It's a Java 7 new feature. Why are you looking? That's a what is try with resource? It's a Java 7 new feature. Then why try with resource? Don't tell like that. 1 minute. What is Java 7? What is try with resource? First point is try with resource is a Java 7 new feature. If you stop there, then if you're looking at him, Tumri fellow, what is try with resource? Syntax you have to tell. This is a try with resource. You have to talk this. A try block with connection based object. A try with a connection based object is called try with resource. Connection based object is a try with resource. Okay. Why try with resource? Try with resource is given to close the connection automatically after its usage. At end of the try block, if you want to close the connection of that particular object, then we have to go for try with resource. How try with resource? Try, syntax of the try with resource is try with a parenthesis. Inside parenthesis, you should write connection object, close parenthesis, start the try body. Inside try body, we have to use that object to perform operation reading or writing. Then at end of the try block, background compiler will add ps.close by using finally. By using finally. Tell me. Try with resource is implicitly a try with finally with a close method call on this resource object. Okay, na? When we will use try with resource? Try with resource is suitable only for what type of objects? Connection based object. Tell me now. I am writing something like this. Try parenthesis, open bracket, closed bracket. Here I am writing string s1 equal to double quotes hk. And tell me, can I write like this? You want to close hk now? Can I write any object here? Look at that. The resource type string doesn't implement java.lang.auto closable interface. What is auto closable? Auto closable is a interface. Tell me, if you want to guarantee close method is available on this object, that object must have close method implementation. Then in Java, how can we force the classes to implement one method? By using interface. Declare the method in the interface as abstract, so that the class which is implementing from auto closable or interface, that method must be implemented and can be called or not? Everyone? Tell me now. Now I have a question. Try to answer. I wanted to write a method here. I want to write a method here, static void m1. I want to guarantee the object coming inside this m1 method as argument should be only animal type. Then what do you write? I want this method to receive only animal type objects. Then what do you write? You write what? Animal A. You write what? Animal A. And tell me, now this animal A, when you write here, what type of objects are only allowed? Then animal you create as a class or interface. Then the classes which want to use these services, they will implement animal pass this object as an argument. Na? Similarly, Sun Microsystem has declared a special interface called auto closable. The classes which want to use the try with resource functionality, that class must be implementation class of auto closable. Tell me, print stream is an implementation of auto closable? Yes. Open this. Extends file output stream, implements appendable and what? John, there is no auto closable. Closable is implementation of auto closable. Auto closable contains single method called what? Close. Are you following my point? Yes. Tell me, because the close method is available in auto closable, every class implementing this auto closable interface will contain what? Close method. On that object now compiler can call what? Close. So tell me, what type of objects are allowed to place in the try with resource? Only auto closable implementation classes. So tell me, what is a try with resource? A try block with auto closable implementation class object is called try with resource. A auto closable implementation object is a connection based object. A try with resource is used for closing that object connection automatically at end of the try. At end of the try. If you want to close connection based objects automatically, then you have to go forward, try with resource. Everyone understand? Yes. When I write try with resource, is it just a try with resource? No, it is a try with finally by calling close method. What the rule in calling? What the rule in using try with resource? If you want to use a try with resource, the object you are using here must be implementation class. Interface subtype is not called subclass. It must be the implementation class of auto closable. Can I use a string here? No. Compiler throw error. Rule number 2. Rule number 2. If I use a auto closable object here, for example, I am writing connection con equal to driver manager dot driver manager dot get connection of something null, no problem. I'm not executing. Okay. Open bracket, closed bracket. Rule number 2. If the try with resource, the try resource object, if throwing any checked exception, we must handle it. Also, if the resource close method is throwing any checked exception, also we must handle. Okay. How many rules are there? Rule number 1. The object must be auto closable implementation class object. Rule number 2. The resource object, constructor or method throwing any checked exception. The resource object, implicit call to close method throwing any checked exception. We must handle the checked exception, else compiler will throw error. Rule number 2. Rule number 3. Try to understand. I am just creating, rule number 3, I am just creating a variable connection con. Allowed or not allowed? Just I am creating connection con, just variable I am creating. Tell me, what the meaning of try with resource? End of the try block, it is calling con dot close. Na? If you don't initialize con variable, how it can be execute? Call close method will get variable might not have been initialized. Insert equal to variable initialization to complete resource. So only variable declaration we cannot place. Compulsory it must be initialized. I am initializing with null. Allowed? Come on. Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. What compiler saying? You must initialize. Yeah, I initialize with null. But still why I am getting error? Array, what is the try with resource syntax? It implicitly handle null, na? fr dot null not equal to null, then fr dot close. This is the logic, right? Tell me. Then why compile time error? You forgot rule number 2. What is the rule number 2? We must handle exception that is throwing by close method. Gajnis. If I type, then only you will remember. Sir, let me type. What is the rule number 1? Okay, the object type must be auto closable. Auto closable means what? Implementation class. Second rule. Okay, na? Rule number 3 చెప్పండి. Okay, let me take here print stream PS. Okay, now error, yes. PS variable must have assignment. Now I am assigning. Right, PS equal to null. Will you get null pointer exception? No error. No compile time error, no runtime error, because implicit null handling is there in the finally block. If I use connection con, You'll get compile time error. Why? For not handling SQL exception for close. What you write now? Try control 1, add catch clause to surrounding try. Now error is not. Understood? Rule number 3, rule number 4. Hey, end rules unnai ra bhai. Bold and rules. Rule number 4. I have file reader object connected to bbc.txt already. I have file reader object already created. It's there. Okay. Now, can I use this object as a resource? FR. Of course, catch you should write. Let me write. Catch of IO exception. Otherwise, we'll get checked exception handling error. Na? I have already resource object available. Now I am trying to pass this variable directly as a resource object. Allowed or not allowed? Compile time error up to, okay, in Java 7 and 8 version. In Java 7 version and 8 version, it leads to compile time error. Then what should I do in Java 8 and 9 version? You should create one local variable by your own. File reader fr2 equal to fr. Which version? Solution in Java 7 version and 8 version. Ardhamainda? Catch up. Okay. Now error or no error? No error. This is the Tumri approach. Sun Microsystem realized in Java 9 version. Solution in Java 9 version. Improvement. What? Improvement. Directly pass FR. Explicit variable not required. Ante Java 8 version exam if you are writing, you should choose this as what? Compile time error. If you are writing Java 9 or 10 or 11 version exam, then you can choose this is no error. This is called Java 9 version improvement. What? In Java 7 version and 8 version, we cannot use outer object as resource, as try resource. Okay, what is the solution? We must use one local variable in try parenthesis. What is the improvement? From Java 9 version onwards, we can directly use outer object referent as resource. Okay, na? Understand rule number 4? Okay, now the question. Rule number 5. What is rule number 5? Tell me. I am using, okay, fr dot write. Read fr dot read. Na? Fr dot read of, yeah, that's it. Tell me, is it compile or not compile? Yeah, I have to handle exception. Control 1, add throws declaration. Let it be there so that all exceptions will be suppressed. Tell me, fr dot read I have called. Allowed or not allowed? Fr already available, connected to bbc.txt. This variable scope is available until end of the method. Because I have declared inside a method. Na? Tell me, any error or no error? No error. Are last error? Error or no error? When I ask a question, you have to think at least 1 minute. Stop focusing on, so that brain will work. Daily I am saying. Think. Why you got error? Error or exception? Is there any error? And you should not only say no compile time error. Already Eclipse told no compile time error. Then why I am keep on asking error, 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 error? Error and exception also. And tell me, why you got exception? You have used FR as a resource. When I use FR as a try resource, it will be closed. End of the try, it is closed. Yes or no? Then we'll get exception. So tell me, what the rule number 5? We cannot use a resource variable after try. If we use, we'll get exception. Next, fr2 dot read method I am calling. Allowed? Okay, I will do one thing. 1 minute. I am commenting these 2 lines. Okay. And tell me now, fr dot read will get exception or no exception? Why?
Because that project FR2, but FR is pointing new file reader. FR also pointing new file reader. We are closing on the FR. FR is available.
If I slap you, why from the eyes will get tears? Come again. If I slap you, cheek na, on cheek I slap you. Why eyes tears will come from eyes? Huh? Pain will be there from here. Tears should come na. Why tears coming from eyes? That you understood. This you don't understand. Part different na. Now understood. Shall I try now? Tell me, fr2 variable pointing to new object or the same fr object? Non-static members chapter. Understood? When I am teaching all the internals, all people are looking at me and saying, Tumri fella, wasting my time. Look, wherever you go, static, non-static members chapter, the 20 pages of the notes, 1 month of the course will follow you. Wherever you go. Many times I told you, static, non-static members chapter, each and every point you should remember. Practice those 2 chapters only, your life will be settled. Other all chapters will follow you automatically. But you seriously ignore those 2 chapters only. fr2 variable is holding fr reference. That means fr variable, fr2 variable, both are pointing to file reader object. Then you call close method with fr2 or you call with fr, both are get affected because pointing to same object. Understood? If you call fr.read, will you get exception or no exception? Will get exception. Stream closed. Everyone understand? Next, I am calling here fr2 dot close. Sorry, fr2 dot read. देखो ध्यान से देखो, रेड कलर कमिंग ना, रेड कलर मतलब क्या है? हाँ बोलो क्यों? हाँ FR2, FR2 outside the try है inside try है? FR2 is declared inside a try that is not available outside to access. FR2 variable scope, which chapter? Which chapter? Scope of the variable, which chapter? Variable and types of variables. ఆ రోజు నెత్తి నోరు కొట్టుకున్నా నేను. I was crying like anything and telling you, reminding you every day. Variable types of variables, revise, revise, revise. Online, one student sent a message to me that day. Hey, every day variables only. Today on variables, how many points came? Variable without initialization, you cannot access. Variable types of variables. Variable scope is within the try block. You cannot access outside. Variable types of variables. Yesterday also, final variable. The variable declared inside try block is local to try, cannot be accessible from finally. So bring it to outside. The variable you initialized inside try cannot use after try because the scope is only within try. So you have to initialize with the default value at least. The 3 chapters what I told you have seriously ignored practicing and remembering. Lifelong you will cry. Variable types of variables. Method types of methods. Constructor types of constructors. Next, block and types of blocks. These 4 chapters plus all these 4 are how many types of members? 2 types of members, static and by all these 8 members, by creating in the class their execution flow. Static members execution flow, non-static members execution. People who are ignoring these 6 chapters, lifelong chakabhajana, Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna. FR2 dot read method will get compile time error. Why? Because FR variable is local. And tell me, what is the rule number 5? The referenced variable used inside try parenthesis cannot be used after try. Okay. Compile them bar आता surround with again try. One more try will come. Outer try will come. Outer try, inner try. Okay na? Because finally block close method exception should handle na. Further. Right. FR dot read. Then tell me next. What this FR dot read list? This is what? Compile time error. This is what? This is runtime error. Why runtime error? Because connection is already closed. The reference variable used before try parenthesis and used as a resource cannot be used after try block. Why? Because it's object closed, object connection closed. Object connection is closed. Object is not closed. Still object is available, but connection only closed. Everyone understood? Yes. Okay. Lock करेंगे. Now last rule. I don't say, you try. Try parenthesis print stream PS equal to new print stream connecting to abc.txt. Any error? No error. Okay, but you have to handle file not found exception and IO exception. But already I have written here throws IO exception. That's why I'm not getting error. Understood? If I remove this throws IO exception, then I'll get errors. Here I'll get error, and also here also I'll get error. Remember that I am writing throws IO exception, so no errors. Now I want to create one more print stream object connected to bbc.txt file. First object I am writing with PS1. Second object I am writing with PS2. Any errors? Already error showing. Already Eclipse showing error, no? Why error? If you write only one resource object, semicolon is optional. If you write more than one resource object, inside try parenthesis, we can place multiple resources. They must be semicolon. If we place only one resource object, semicolon is optional. Okay, na? That's rule number 6. Next, rule number 7. ఇంకేమున్నాయి? Try parenthesis, open bracket, closed bracket. Again, I'm writing print stream object PS1 equal to semicolon, mandatory, optional, because only one resource. PS1 dot print of double quotes hi semicolon. Allowed or not allowed? Why? In the try parenthesis, we must place only resource variable. Okay, now you must place resource variable with object. Is it a variable declaration? In try parenthesis, we must place only variable declaration, that to which variable? Auto closable type referenced variable declaration. If you place normal method, normal variables declaration or method calls or just object creation, what happened? We will get compile time error. Get out from here. Who are you? Look at the error. Come, syntax error on token, misplaced construct of yes. Actually, our regular compiler will throw error. Auto closable resource variable only allowed. If we compile this program with our regular Java C compiler, we'll get different error. These compile time errors are Eclipse customized errors. Okay, if you compile this program with a regular compiler, you will get actual compile time error. So it leads to compile time error. Clear my point? Yes. So these are the 7 errors you have to follow while working with try with resource. Everyone understood? Will you practice and remember? What the 2 features we have try with resource? First feature is Java 7 new features. First one is what? Try with Second, catch with multiple exceptions. Now tell me, I am writing 3 catch blocks. Catch of arithmetic exception, catch of array index out of bounds exception, catch of number format exception. In all these 3 catch blocks, I want to write same exception handling logic. I don't want to change the logic. Simply I want SOP and E dot get message. Or simply I want to write E dot print stack trace. Then how many times I should write logic? 3 times. 3 times I have to write. Okay? Observe now. I am writing here. Try catch of array index out of bounds exception E. And next, catch of number format exception E. Catch of arithmetic exception E. Okay, here I want to write a message. System.out.println pass only integers. Okay, pass integers. And here I want to write system.out.println pass only integers. And here system.out.println double quotes. Don't pass 0 as second argument. Now look at here. This is the code we write up to Java. We should write separate catch block for each exception to handle. Array index, this catch. Number format, this catch. And arithmetic exception, this catch. Clear? Now, from Java, okay, there is a chance some unknown exception come from this try block. Maybe there is a chance. To handle that unknown exception, we should write backup catch block exception. Then what write here? E dot print stack. Always it's a good practice to place catch of exception after all catch blocks, so that it will work as what? Backup catch block. Cricket, if you take fielder throwing the ball, then backside of the keeper, one fielder is coming as a backup now. For instance, for any chance the keeper missing the ball, back fielder will stop that ball. So this catch of exception is nothing but backup catch block. Clear? Now, from Java 7 version onwards, you can combine the exceptions in a single catch block. From Java 7 version onwards, I can combine this exception. I can remove the catch block here. I can place it here, comma, number format exception E. Listen, if I write catch with comma, that means how many parameters? At runtime, how many arguments should come? From the try block, is there any chance that 2 exceptions will come? No. Once line number 4 exception rise, any chance that line number 5 execute and another exception will come? That means at runtime, we can get only which exception? Either array index out of bounds exception or number format exception. Both will come? No. Either that or this. Then why you have 2 parameters? 2 parameter names required or not required? Then only take 1 parameter, remove this. And what is the separator for that exception to this exception? R. What is the separator? R, not double R, singular. Okay, array index out of bounds exception or number format exception. Then what the logic we write here? Pass integers, only integers. Both exceptions are matched. All I catch my point? What this concept is called, from Java 7 version onwards, we can place a catch with multiple exceptions. Is it clear? In advanced Java, either try with resource concept is using or catch with multiple exceptions is using. Will you get confused? No. Advanced Java faculty will try to use all core Java new features maximum. Either in Advanced Java or in Springboard, they will try to use all new features there in core Java, so that it will be a revision to you, and you are forcing to use the new features by the project developer. In project, you have to use all that new features. You cannot ignore. So in core Java, you are learning. In Advanced Java and in the frameworks, you started using them and practicing them more. In company, you will start freely using those concepts wherever required. Clear? Now, what are the rules while working with multiple catch blocks? There are two rules are there. Rule number 1. Separator must be or and must use only one parameter name. These are rule number 1. Rule number 2. Rule number 2. Look at here. I am placing try with exception is a super class of array index out of bounds exception.
Yes.
I am writing combination subclass and superclass both. Then the exception raised from this catch block, catch by this exception, na?
Yes.
Then we are reading this. Extra useless, na? Many times I told you, any statement you write in the program that should have at least one chance to execute. Otherwise, compiler will throw error. Then tell me, catch of array index out of bounds exception when you write, what happened here? Already exception is catching, then why you are right? You write either that side or this side. Whichever the side you write, it is error. Left side you write or right side you write, no problem. You will get compile time error. So what is the compile time error? This exception array index out of exception is already caught by the alternative exception. Okay, now alternative should not be super subtypes. Alternative should not be super subtype. They must be siblings. What the rule number 2? The exceptions. How many we can write here? Only 2 na? More than 2 na? More than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 you can write, but you should separate with what? Or last parameter you should place. In that list, no class should be super class of current exception. Okay. The exception classes must not be super and subtypes. All exceptions must be siblings. Siblings means what? Same level. No easy relation classes is called siblings. Super subclass relation not there, then they are called what? Siblings. Okay, now array index number format exception doesn't have easy relation, so they are called what? Siblings. That's it. With this we completed. We completed Java 7 new features with program, project, and errors, entry questions, everything. So with this, we completed exception handling fully. So now you have to read page number 133 to 176. Last page I gave you project. In that project, I covered OOPS, inherit interface, declarations with implementation, and then user class with logical programming, switch block with the cases. Just go through once. If you got any doubt, please ask, I'll explain. Clear? I'm giving you a chance to understand the project by your own. Why? If I explain, again you'll become listener.
Yes.
When you go to company in the project, in the company, will team lead come next to sit to you and explain the project? Adhikadra, this concept for this purpose, no, this concept for this purpose. Will you explain like that? No. Am I right? You have to understand the flow. You have to understand why this concept is used. What the reason behind this concept is used. You have to analyze. So go through that project where OOPS exception handling encapsulation fully with reflection API developed. Means up to exception handling today, of course, yesterday. Today topic not included there. Up to yesterday, whatever the topics you learn from the page 1 to Volume 1A, volume 1B and volume 2, page number 176, whatever you learn, everything is covered. So it's the time you have to show your talent. Clear? Tomorrow we'll start multi-threading chapter. Okay, what the time now? Alright, 7:40. Enough. If I start multi-threading, will not be good because I have to start and complete the program also. Okay. Tomorrow I'll start multi-threading. Today I'm expecting all the people to practice. 1 second. What is the last date? I am planning June 21st. Okay. To complete by June 21st, I need to take some extra classes. Are you ready?
Yes.
2 sessions per day. What the second session I can take? What the time? My free times I will tell you. Hey, what I said? I will tell my free times. Okay. Don't tell your free time.